What's going on YouTube? While sports sedans have made BMW's reputation as the ultimate driving machine, it's certainly the brand's SUVs that have moved to the forefront sales-wise. Both the X3 and X5 battle for the top spot in BMW's lineup, and this year have sold almost identical numbers. But now, the X3 is fully redesigned, and a lot of people are wondering, should I pick the newer but smaller SUV, or the classic and larger SUV? There's a lot of overlap between the two models, so let's go ahead and find out. Now, even though these two are competing in different segments, it's very easy to get them to overlap on pricing. Beginning with the all-new X3, we have the M50 model, with most of the main options people want. Thankfully, the price doesn't increase much for the new generation, so all in, the total price is $70,825. Moving to the recently refreshed BMW X5, we have the 40i M Sport variant, which comes with the same signature B58 inline-6 as the X3. After adding in equivalent features, that takes us to a total price of $76,540. By the way, if you want to get the best price from local dealerships and access to invoice pricing info for these two models or any vehicle, we have a tool on our website to do just that. It's a great resource for shopping, so be sure to check the link in the description for more info. If you're new to our comparisons, we conduct them objectively. We've done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories. And towards the end, we will revisit that price difference in the value section. Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. For years, BMW was known for making very evolutionary changes to their product designs, but that certainly hasn't been the case recently. The new X3 has a bold design, inspired by the latest BMW concept vehicles, as well as siblings such as the iX. The design divergence looks particularly pronounced when you put it side by side with the X5, which retains its more classic design, at least for now. We won't be scoring objective things like design preference in this comparison, but we'd love to know what you think of BMW's new design direction in the comments below. Lighting-wise, both have fully LED headlights, as expected, along with the signature soft fading turn signals. While the kidney grills are different shapes, illumination is offered on both. Checking out the sides, after the X3's enlargement this year, there's exactly 7 inches of length separating them. We will see later on if that makes a huge difference when it comes to interior and cargo space. But for now, know that they both have 20-inch alloy wheels as tested. Around back, just like the front, the X3 goes for a much bolder look than the X5. Outside of design, both have full LED taillights, spoilers, and exposed exhaust tips. And the X5 can also tow more by a sizable amount. Now heading on to some of the other features, both of them have heated, power-folding, auto-dimming mirrors with blind spot monitoring. But as far as most other active safety features, they need to be optioned onto both of them. For this price point, the X3 has the Driver's Assistance Professional package, while the already more expensive X5 would need another $2,500 package to get them. But we're just warming up here, so now it's time to head to the more important interiors. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
First, approaching the vehicles, both of course have smart entry systems and digital keys to enter as well. To open the doors, just grab or pull up on the door handles. After we actually get those doors open and view the interiors, besides for the screens, you might not be able to tell they are from the same brand. That starts with the seats, which look pretty different, even though they are both covered in stitched faux leather. The X5's is called Sensafin, and the X3's is called Viganza, and both of them are power adjusting, heated, and ventilated with memory. Now that we've climbed inside, we can discuss the major point category of material quality. The new X3 used to be very similar to the X5, but its new unconventional design trades traditional materials like wood or aluminum for lots of advanced lighting. Because of that, the X5 has a lot more aluminum, wood, and leatherette all over the door trims, dashboard, and center console. After startup, you'll see the same digital gauge clusters on both, and both have large head-up displays as well. And coming back to the steering wheels, the X3 is showing off the newest BMW M design with a flat bottom. Just be aware that only the X5 has power adjustability and a leather airbag cover. Okay, so next up, let's dig into the major area of interior storage. If you've watched our channel before, you probably know that we like to test out the center console volume by loading it up with stuffed donuts, since that is our logo. Surprisingly, they both accommodate 10 donuts. There are also front storage areas with wireless phone charging pads. Both models have the small electronic shifters, and when in reverse, both are equipped with 360-degree camera systems that have the cool 3D view. Now let's go ahead and check out the audio systems. The wattage is slightly different, but overall these systems sound almost identical, and quite good, I might add. While both models have physical volume knobs, the same can't be said for the climate controls. They utilize the screens for climate controls, dual zone automatic in both cases. The weirder thing worth mentioning is that the X3 has touch-sensitive panels to control the airflow, and toggles below the vents that control where you point them. They are pretty hard to adjust without it being a distraction behind the wheel. Now we're already at the large screen, so let's go ahead and talk about them. They both are 14.9 inches, and the X5 is using iDrive 8.5, while the X3 is using iDrive 9.0. Visually and functionally, they are almost identical, even though 9.0 marks the first version of iDrive built off of Android as the backbone. Both have built-in navigation, as well as wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Finally, the last things to mention up front are the auto-dimming mirrors and the panoramic sunroofs. While they both have one, you'll notice that the new X3's is one single piece now, which means that it cannot open like the X5's. Now it's time to head for the back seats and check out what we have. The first criteria is space, where you might be surprised to learn that the X3 and X5 are very close on legroom measurements. Even if legroom is too similar to score a point, the X5 does have 6.5% more headroom, which is important if you have adults in the back often. Now for luxury features, we have rear climate vents on both, and USB-C connections. Dedicated climate controls are available, as are heated back seats, though neither of them have those as equipped. Next, let's check out the cargo areas. After using the hands-free power opening tailgates, you'll find that while the X3's diminished length doesn't impact it a ton, it is still noteworthy in comparison to X5. The X5 has 7.3% more space behind the back seats, and 7.4% more space as a maximum with the seats folded. But these are BMWs after all, so now it's time to take this fight to the streets. Even though these two siblings are from the same brand, there are a number of differences and similarities. A place where they are mostly similar is under the hood. The X5 comes standard with the venerable B58 turbocharged inline 6 with a mild hybrid system. At the same price point, the X3 upgrades its standard engine also to have the turbo inline 6 and mild hybrid, but this performance application does make more power. The smaller body and increased power means that the X3 gets to 60 nearly a second faster, according to BMW. Alright, there's a quick jab of the accelerator in the X5 40i. So this is the base powertrain, but it's really anything but basic. We've talked about this, in past reviews, but it really is a lovely powertrain. This is the B58, the 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder. We added the mild hybrid component to that last year. And altogether, power output is 375 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty for a vehicle like this. Whew! Alright, there we are with a quick little jolt of acceleration in this X3 M50. Not M50i. I remember this time. So, when it comes to this next generation X3, thankfully, the powertrains are very similar to the outgoing generation, but they're also enhanced for this model year. So what that means is that you still have on this M50 model a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder, the B58, but now it does have 11 more horsepower and a lot more torque because it has the mild hybrid system on board. Both models have all-wheel drive and 8-speed automatic transmissions that are very smooth in normal driving. They can also shift more aggressively when in sport mode via the paddle shifters. Now, as far as the transmission is concerned, we do have an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's a nice, smooth partner to this engine, especially when you're just driving around calmly, like most people will be doing with this model. But if you want to, you can also go into sport mode. That's going to dial up the performance of the transmission as well as other elements such as the steering and throttle response. And we also have paddle shifters on the steering wheel. And of course, we do have those paddle shifters I was talking about as well. And as you can see, really responsive. As soon as I click downshift, it goes ahead and gives me that gear. I really like the way BMW does this transmission. It's just an excellent overall partner to the powertrain. Let's also talk about ride quality. There is really nothing bad to say about either model, as they are both super comfortable for their segments. But segment is the key word here, because the X5 is super plush and cancels out even large road imperfections.
Now, also, I do want to talk about your ride quality as well. There are some different suspension setups that you can get, so I'll just go ahead and point that out. As Drew mentioned on the outside, one of the 25 changes is that you can get the air suspension on all versions of the X5 now. It is standard on the 50e model, but we have just the standard suspension setup, and honestly, guys, I think it's a little unnecessary to get the air suspension. The ride quality is so good here with the standard setup. I don't know if it's worth the extra money to get it. All right, and I also want to take a second here while we're just kind of cruising down the road to discuss overall ride quality. Now, this is the M50 version, which is kind of the more sport-oriented model, and I have to say, I really don't think that affects your ride quality at all. Right now, we are just in the standard drive mode, so we're not in a sport mode, but it does a great job of soaking up the bumps and making sure that really not much of it at all penetrates into the cabin.
We love the sounds of the inline 6, but luxury crossovers still need to be quiet at the end of the day. That's why here at Car Confections, we take sound level readings for all the vehicles we test, so that we can see how hushed they are. Our testing shows that the X5 beats the X3, which is not surprising considering the X5 is one of the quietest vehicles we have ever tested at any price point. The X3 is also super impressive since it wasn't tested in Kentucky on our home roads, which is why this is an unofficial result.
Alright guys, the X5 has always been a reigning champion, and I think that's going to continue for this sound level reading. 49.8 decibels is what we were sitting at going. 53.9 decibels is what we are sitting at in the all-new BMW X3.
Finally, as you would expect, the smaller BMW does get 2 mpg better fuel economy combined. But now that we've gone through everything, let's return to the price difference and account for that. The X5 in this test rang in $5,715 more expensive than the X3, meaning that the X3 will get a half point per $1,000, or 3 points. I want to emphasize that if money matters less to you personally, feel free to disregard these points. So that's it. But let's go ahead and recap with the pros and cons of each model so that you can pick who should be your personal winner based on your preferences. So the X5 should probably be your selection if you're concerned about having more maximum cargo space. Also, if you want the more luxurious interior and the better cabin materials. And then also, if you just like the more conventional design that you're going to get on both the inside and the outside.
Now, the X3, on the other hand, should be your choice if you want the most futuristic interior and exterior design. It definitely looks fresh in the lineup and has a lot of cool lighting elements in the X3. Additionally, it does have a more affordable price tag, especially if you option for a more basic engine setup. You can get one for quite a bit cheaper than the X5. Additionally, it has a more powerful inline six-cylinder as equipped today because we do have some enhancements to that B58 powertrain. But we want to know your thoughts. Are you taking the tried and true BMW X5 or the newcomer on the block, the all-new BMW X3? Let us know. Now, if you're looking to buy either one of these luxury SUVs or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. And that's going to be where we leave off on this comparison. We hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and it also helps us to make more comparisons and reviews like this. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.